What you got to say? Baka! What are you doing, dude?
Second guessing Elon Musk is a fool's game. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, how many rockets have you sent to Mars? Well, seriously, you know, people are so presumptuous. You could excuse that and say, well, it's government subsidies or it was handed to him, which is all complete bloody rubbish, because you can hand government subsidies to a fool forever, and all that'll happen is you'll get 1,600 feet of high-speed rail built in California in 20 years for $12 billion. You know, and so that happened, right? That happened. So second guessing him, it's like, why did he spend $40 billion on Twitter? It's like, because he knows things you don't. Like many things, books full of things. Yeah, and I think he's a good person. Or I said in my analysis, or he's an absolutely terrible person, trying really hard to be good, which is, that's even better and closer to the truth. And I think it is the truth in his case, because he's a complicated guy. He's got some dark corners, but you know, he's doing his best to aim up, as you could tell by the fact that he's shooting rockets to Mars. And so, and he's very pro-human in his orientation. Since we're all human, that's probably a good thing. And it's a good thing that someone like that is maybe on the cutting edge of the AI revolution, because, you know, ChatGPT and these other models that have been trained on woke stupidity, they've got a few knots to untangle. Like seriously, because no matter what you think about Caitlyn Jenner, I'd pick misgendering her rather than the nuclear war, but ChatGPT wouldn't, and that's not good. It starts with
I had to stop the audio. It copyrighted it. YouTube be doing that. But this is crazy to think about. So did they have some big type of laser machine making these whole buildings? Like what's really I don't understand the past, boy. The past or history's been manipulated. Look at that. How'd they do that 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, 200, 300, whenever it was? Yeah, how they do it whenever. They ain't doing it today. Barely.
King Solomon used to love having his rings. He asked one of his servants, he said, I want you to go and find me a ring that when I look at this ring, when I'm happy, I will get sad. And when I look at it when I'm sad, I will get happy. So his servant told him, I will go out there and find this ring for you. This king told him, I'm going to have an event. It's going to be 3 months from now. I want to have it before the event starts. The gentleman went everywhere. Nobody understood what he wanted. It was 3 days just before they had the event, and he reached another town and he asked this ring maker, hey, King Solomon is asking for this ring. Can you please help me find it? The ring maker looks at him and says, I have something for you. The ring maker runs to the back and brings it to him and says, give this to King Solomon. The guy looks at the ring, gets extremely excited, and runs back to the kingdom. He arrived exactly in the middle of the party. As everybody's enjoying their time and laughing and having a great time with their friends, he goes, bursts through the door and screams, King Solomon, the wise King Solomon, I have the ring. King Solomon is laughing. Let's see the ring. He looks at the ring and from a smile, he frowns. Everybody wondered, what does the ring say? It's the famous quote from King Solomon's.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. When you're in hard time, just remember.
This too shall pass.
And when you're in good times, just remember.
This too shall pass.
King Solomon.
I gotta be honest. I was handed this folder. I'm pretty disgusted with what I see in it. And I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
He was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so nice. The stuff that's in that folder, are you embarrassed by it at all?
Yeah, I am.
Why would we even want to do business with a company that operates like that? You're the president? Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm appalled. I couldn't believe it. I had to lean over and ask him, I'm like, is this real? I'm not joking. I've been doing this 10 years. This is year number 11 for me. And when I looked at the folder, I thought it was a joke. It's emails with your name on it. and you investigated people that are on this dais for doing their job for Texans. What do you have to say for that?
Again,
because they were trying
Insurance
to
is a
do what's
dirty
right for the
scam.
constituents. What do you say?
yeah, I think
Insurance don't play no joke.
going back in time, I think it was just understanding what interests and information we could be knowledgeable of when we're meeting with different individuals.
I disagree. You wanted leverage and you thought that you were going to use it. I dare you to investigate me. Do it and then bring it. I dare you to do that to me. That's disgusting. That you would do an investigation and you would pay for investigators to look something up in someone's background to try to leverage it. It's actually potentially it could be illegal. I don't know. I would ask the Attorney General to potentially investigate your actions on whether they were legal and whether you tried to use what you found out during those investigations against these people in order to gain $1 billion contracts. It makes me wonder what the heck they're even doing with you in this position when you conduct yourself like that. I would never in a million years consider investigating a legislator for doing their job. I'm appalled and disgusted. I'm embarrassed that you would be sitting in front of us and that you would try to pretend like you were gathering information just to have it. You don't gather that kind of information to not use it. What were you really going to use that information for? I'm appalled and disgusted. I'm embarrassed that you would be sitting in front of us and that you would try to pretend like you were gathering information just to have it. You don't gather that kind of information to not use it. What were you really going to use that information for?
Just like what I've said. Sir.
What?
What's that?
Say it again. I
okay.
I want to hear it.
Just to have general information about individuals we might be meeting with and knowing that they might have interest in certain things. That's really it.
So you want to know very specific information. Did you read the emails? Do you know what emails we're talking about? Because that's not what you were looking for. What were you really looking for?
Really just what I've stated.
You're in the middle of a lawsuit and you don't want to answer me, I think. I think that's what it is. Look, we don't always get along up here on this dais. Sometimes we disagree with each other. Sometimes we totally get frustrated with each other, but these are my colleagues. These guys are my family. What you did is despicable.
Willie, you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing
This
this.
needs to be done more often, y'all.
Yeah,
Control
we get
burning.
these turkeys right. Gotta get the turkeys right, don't we, Willie?
Gotta get them right.
Clean this land up. Don't get none of that on your feet now.
Yeah, they're barefooted.
I'm just trying to get them done.
That's my Uncle Tommy.
Well, that drip torch's heavy in it, son.
Yeah, it ain't.
You sound like you out of breath a little bit.
He is. Hell, that big fat good I got.
Gut done got to you? You have
Yeah,
that.
right. Look at that good.
Oh, yeah. You got it roaring?
It's rolling, it's rolling.
Yeah, you got it going pretty good down through there.
I gotta go.
Slow burn, it burning from the other way. We good to go, ain't we, Willie?
Ain't burning, ain't burning.
All that matter.
That's it. We're gonna clean this up. Gonna look good.
Don't look good.
That ain't right.
Turkey gonna be all
All
in it.
turkey will be all
Deer.
up in. Yeah.
Ain't no doubt about it.
Deer, everything.
You gotta watch this video.
The Bible's not a book. The Bible's 66 books. 40 different people wrote it. Over 1,500 years. There's never been a book like that in history. Does that make it the Word of God? No. It just means it's worth considering. For hundreds of years, archaeology has used the Old Testament and New to find buildings, to find people, to find civilizations, to find kings that didn't exist or they didn't think they did. And suddenly the Bible said they're there and they dug it up and there it was. Does that make it the Word of God? No. It means it's historically accurate. Real people really existed and really wrote down what they saw. It's worth considering. And then a man showed up one day named Jesus. And he fulfilled all 300 prophecies. That's impossible. We know that the first Greek translation of the Old Testament was done 250 years before Jesus was born. How could they possibly know that he'd be born? And could they possibly know he was going to be crucified when crucifixions didn't even exist as a capital punishment yet? How could they know that he'd be betrayed for 30 pieces of silver 250 years before there was a Jesus? Does it make it the Word of God? No, but it's starting to get close. And then Jesus said he would fulfill these things and did miraculous things to prove I'm not just a guy talking like everybody else. Look what I've done. And then he said this, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to die, and I'm going to come back to life. Nobody's ever done that. And he died. And all those who were with him 3 years ran in fear. And they ran away and they said, I guess that we were wrong. And then something happened. Something happened that made all these guys come back and be willing to be martyred for one reason. They said this: I saw him die and I saw him come back. If we all die and there is no God, it's just eternal unconsciousness, you'll never know. But if you're wrong, you'll know forever. And it's not a gamble anybody should take.
And I'm in trouble. This is what it's having to get some views. This is hard to keep up with right there, y'all. I don't think I got that. I don't think I can compete with that. I barely got ice in the freezer, much less to skate on.
Back it up, dumbass!
I did like this. I thought this is interesting. Going with some bearing on a tank.
God damn it!
Ooh, speed light.
Motherfucker.
Alright, so this best. Yeah, that's a no-go.
God, motherfucker. Alright, go.
Are they Reds bearings? Are they bones? Are they bone Reds?
Oh, Jesus.
You know what's really depressing to think about though?
Get out of here, bastard!
We left our IDs in the truck, sir. Yeah. In the truck. Woo, come on now.
And make sure you don't put it crossing.
Yeah. No, I threw them away. If it's one thing my dad always told me this day, always make sure you use the store pattern. Yeah, now look at that thing.
Good job.
You can't have a belief. You can't even spell the word belief without the word lie. Yeah. B-E-L-I-E-F. Yeah. So if you believe something, it's privy to be false because you don't know it. You just believe it. A belief is like blind faith. Yeah. In something genuinely you don't know. So in my mind, you drop all belief and then you piece the reality together based on what you know as fact for yourself, not because Dave wrote a book and he says this. That's fair enough. You can use the book to inspire you to then recognize something yourself, but you can't base your whole reality on what some other person's written in a book, some other human the same as you has written in a book. Do you know what I mean?
But do we have any facts about anything? Like, is anything facts?
Hot is hot, cold is cold.
Hot feels hot when you put your hand in it.
Yeah, and then you know
cold
that's
feels
hot.
cold.
Yeah,
this table's here because I can touch it.
Yeah.
But so are we saying that only
I'd go as far
can...
as that, yeah. Use your sense organs, your own personal, like, yeah, you can go on a real cosmic one where everything's totally just energy and it's yeah, totally. It does that on some level. But right here, right now, you're Ty, I'm Joe, yeah?
Yeah.
That's I could be Joe, I might be Joe. If I'm Joe, you're Ty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, let's just stick with that, yeah? Water does that. Any body of liquid you've ever come into contact with, larger than its surface area, must be contained, always finds its level. Fact. You agree?
Yeah.
It's a fact. So if I put a drip of water on this table...
Yes, in normal terms, like in a bathtub, in a cup,
Every term, every ink, oil, any liquid you've ever come into contact with your whole life has always, if it's larger than its surface area, been contained and will always find its level, yeah? If it's smaller than the surface area, it will stay in one... If it's on a flat surface, it will stay in one space bound by its own surface tension, yeah? If it's on a curved surface, it will roll off. Fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except if there's gravity.
Yeah, but so what they've done to you there is they've got you to disregard your sense organs and what you know to be true in favor of this ideology. Do you know what I'm saying? What are the chances, honestly, that every single body of water, liquid, or any liquid, let's say, conforms to a set group of metrics, yet always does those things?
Yeah.
What are the chances that the biggest body of liquid you've ever come into contact with, i.e. the ocean, somehow now operates in complete opposition to those metrics? What are the chances, Ty?
Well,
and we've been programmed.
I only know
by
what
a
I've
school
been
system,
taught, right?
exactly.
So,
and who taught us it?
School.
And
Scientists.
who pays for the curriculum?
The government.
And who pays for the government? So I'm saying there's an elite ruling class of people that run the show. Yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they educated you and me to disregard our sense organs in favor of what they told us. And we now live in a reality that it's actually laughable. It's actually laughable.
I get that the water argument, I get it. Like if I move this cup now, no matter, if we filled this room up, it would have to be contained within this room. Once it's full, it will level.
Has to do it, yeah.
It always levels, hence the spirit level.
Oh, exactly, thank you. Hence the word sea level. Not sea curve, sea sphere, sea level. Horizon is horizontal, isn't it? And horizontal is a sideways plane, isn't it?
Normally,
yeah. You've heard them talk about the spiritual plane and the earthly plane, and the word planet is plane et. Define the word plane in the dictionary. What's it mean?
Flat. I'd imagine. I've not looked at it, but I'd imagine the word flat's in there.
Me and my friends think on top of the church roof and stuff. I think it does. All sad news. I think I found me a good bell. Class for a bell.
Can anyone explain this?
You better wake up and find out. Has been around you all of your life. You just didn't see it. A classic example, a humorous one to start with, a more serious later. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this. It's been around for a while. Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John Kennedy was elected to Congress in 1946. Abe Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John Kennedy was elected president in 1960. The names Lincoln and Kennedy both contain 7 letters. Both presidents were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both of the president's wives lost children while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday in the head. President Lincoln's secretary was named Miss Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Miss Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, in 1939. Both assassins were known by 3 names: John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Both names are comprised of 15 letters. President Lincoln was shot in a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car named Lincoln, made by Ford. John Wilkes Booth ran to a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Booth and Oswald were both assassinated before they could go to trial. And a week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe.
that type of shape? What if it had like a spotlight effect and it pivoted its way out just a little bit? And swing in and swing out. Does that make sense? As it's going around? No light off on the other side of it. Have we ever thought about that? What if I'm really a man on a reflection that's on lit on one side?